has to do with the Internet of Everything, and it has to do with everything. The palantir, which is one of the investments of Peter Thiel, is that it has to do with hooking you up to the Internet, hooking up every living creature on the planet to the Internet, creating a hyperledger dossier on every aspect of everyone's life, their activities of daily living, their social credit, their obedience, their compliance with the rules of the Hunger Game. It has to do with your health records, called precision medicine, also known as electronic or telemedicine. Get a different name for everything, right? Precision medicine is molecular engineering, it's neuromodulation, it's the invasion of your body autonomy so that you have no autonomy, that you're tethered to the cloud 24/7. That's what Peter Thiel is all about. That's what the biodigital convergence. Biodigital convergence is the combination of organic biological creatures created by God, and then on the other side you've got electronic engineering, radiation, toxicity, weaponization of light, photonics, sound, ultrasonics, also known as ambient temperature and sound, and PAVPAWS, which is the pulsing, which is now we refer to as neuromodulation across the nation. Neuromodulation, also known as phased array weapon system, is neuromodulation. It's the idea of cooking humans like a microwave from the inside out, using the 80% of water retention that a living biological creature has.
You heard that, right? But I want to say shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Those in this gospel broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. Lord's will to be edifying, says the Internet of Behavior for Obedience, Compliance, the IOB. All right, now you had the IoT, which going back into the years 2016, 2017, maybe. It was called the Internet of Things, or the Internet of Bodies. IOB stands for Internet of Behavior, or Internet of Bodies, which is essentially the same thing. Now, as you hear him speaking, he mentioned Palantir, which if you watch that movie, I think it's called, damn, it's just on the tip of my tongue. But I think it was, it's just on the tip of my tongue. Slocky. It's been a long day, brothers, man. Bear with me. But anyway, you got what they call Palantir, which is basically a program or a tool that allowed them to see into the past, into the future. And what are the chances that they're using this particular title to push the global surveillance, man? All right, because everything that you see lining up as far as this MOTB system, everything is gearing over to be a social credit system. Now, if you pay attention to certain aspects of what people have been bringing out about this Charlie Kirk guy, a lot of guys have been getting, or people have been getting fired and cut from their jobs because they were mentioning certain things about this demon Charlie Kirk, you know, which, wait a minute, man, how the hell you're gonna, hey, how the hell are you gonna come at somebody because they mentioned certain beliefs, or they didn't believe certain things, which is based on their First Amendment rights, you know, the freedom of speech and expression? How you gonna let somebody go because they didn't accept, you know, your paradigm of belief, man? Which shows you that they're getting ready to control the internet, man. All right, and you Jakes out there, and just the people in general, you're not gonna be able to have much of a say so or much of a voice too much longer, because, you know, Palantir, then you got Stargate, you got this other shit called the Gideon Project, which all ties into one particular ordeal, you know, to global surveillance everybody. And you're gonna have that MOTB, which is the mark of the beast, in order to operate under these particular tendencies, man. That's why, hey, now we're coming to the time that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, hey, he's making moves, man. Okay, it was a video that the brother did, the brother Ashiar, he uploaded like a 30-second clip of this chariot going past the sun, and it was bigger than the sun, you know, and they speculated that the sun can fit around 998,000 Earths, because they said it's that big. Me personally, I mean, you know, that's up for debate, because we know Esau lies, you know, as far as how big the sun and the moon is, but it don't really matter, you know, it's not really important. But the fact about it is this cherub is bigger than the sun, and we know the sun is a very large object, to say the least. It's time, all right? So this is why this devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath, and he has to get shit on and popping, okay? Because the Most High said in the book of Job that he would set his bounds that he cannot cross. So this global surveillance system, any day now, they're gonna have to shut this thing offline, okay? They're gonna have to shut down the economy. Whatever they're gonna do in order to operate in these internet of bodies, they're gonna have to switch everything off and do it again and put on a new system. Okay, it's kind of like one of my banks 2-3 weeks ago. They had an upgrade. Well, not an upgrade. They changed companies basically. So what they did, they shut off the old service and they turned on a new, which is still an ongoing process. But the fact about it is, the old credentials didn't work anymore, you know, because they got new credentialing now, and it's somewhat similar to as what they're doing with this economy, which is going to incorporate the banking system as well. Okay, so sooner than later, speaking out against Esau, Amalek is going to be a thing in the past, because they're going to be able to criminalize us for speaking on these things. Because like I said, the same thing with Charlie Kirk, you speak out against that in certain aspects, hey, they will literally fire you, man. And in some cases, they stated that MAGA agents was going around and locking people up because of their viewpoints on this Charlie Kirk character, man, which is all fucking psyops at the end of the day. This is how we know that Esau is going to come rolling in hard on the men of the Lord, because, I mean, be honest with you, you know, the prophets, we add insult to injury because we bring out the facts. Okay, we got the receipts on all you goddamn devils, to say the least. All right, so let me get a quick preset real quick. It's been a long freaking work day. It's my first lesson I pulled out for the day. I try to get my lessons done early in the day. That way I have time to let the day do what it's going to do, whatever the spirit throws at me. But it was just one of them days that, you know, my spirit didn't allow me to get to it in time. So we're going to make up for it. But it's all good, because the work will get done. All right. Ezekiel 28:1. It says, "And the word of the Lord came to me again, saying, Son of man, saying to the prince of Tyrus." Now you understand the prince of Tyrus going into the Hamitic nations. All right. You got Ham. You got these other nations, but you got to understand, according to prophecy takes place manifold. Like when you go into the book of Ezekiel 38, that's going into the ancient Gog and Magog, which was the sons of Japheth. But if you look at who ascends the identity of that land today, it's the Russians. So, and it's playing out, and that's how prophecy is taught. Okay, so you may say, well, that ain't talking about Esau. Well, if you look at the characteristics and everything that the other nations did, Esau is following the same market plan. Okay, he's learned his witchcraft, his sorceries, and he studied these other nations, and he basically take their systems and he incorporated it into a main system, which is what we have here now. You know, it's a big ass truck. Anyway, and it says, because thy heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a power, and sit in the seat of a God in the midst of the seas. What's the seas? The seas are the people. All right. Esau, Edom, he has nations in subjection by his dollar and his U.S. military, man. And if you don't bow down to the American hegemonies, then overall, they will overtake you, you know. And it says, I am a power, and sit in the seat of a God in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not God, though thou set thy heart as a heart of a God. So with this technology, he's basically declaring himself the Most High, or better than the Most High, because the Most High have a palantir in itself, because he's omnipotent. Okay, he's all-knowing from the beginning and past. The Lord already had the end declared when the beginning was already in fruition, man. So you can look at it this way, like a Paramount script. You know, the script is already like, usually a movie director or a writer, you have several rewrites, but the Most High is the perfect movie director. He's the perfect writer. He's the perfect author. So the Lord didn't have to do no rewrites, all right? But he's wrote the beginning with the end already done, you know? Like most writers and most producers, they already know the end of it. They have a beginning with the end in mind. So they said, okay, well, I may change this character up here and there, but this is the end game overall, you know? Sometimes you may kill off a main character too. Sometimes you may kill off your entire original cast and set up a new cast, man, you know? But regardless of it, that's how it works. Esau, he acts as if he's a god, which he's clearly not. All right, Esau is a mortal man, and he's the base of man. He's nothing but a man, okay, to say the least. And the spirit of the Lord is getting ready to root this devil out of the land of the living. And it says, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. It says, there's no secret that they can hide from thee. And how do he know everything? Through his global surveillance. First and foremost, they have what they call the identification system, the Social Security Administration. When everybody has a unique identifier, which links their identity to who they are, it tells you your history, it has consumer reports, it tells you your habits, all these things, right? Because they're watching you. I would like to say a straw man or a Social Security number is more like what you call it's a prison number. Because wait a minute, if we're supposed to be sovereign and we're citizens of the planet Earth and we have right to travel, then why the fuck do I need a damn number in order to go a place or to get a fucking job, man? Or why the hell do I need a piece of paper saying that I'm of this particular province to go out of the country, and if I come back, I gotta get screened and I gotta pay more money if I want to reclaim a citizenship? Because it's all slavery, man. And that's what he ultimately does. He wants to put us back in slavery, but a digital slavery, when you got robots and pseudoscience and pseudo-racism and all this other nonsense that's at the helm of all our affairs, man. Okay, because hey, he's getting ready to do away with the corporate world. Okay, have you noticed the corporate world in the public sector and the private sector, they're merging? Okay, there's not going to be any more public sector anymore, because the public sectors are going to pretty much merge. Because a job you find in the public sector, you can find it in the private sector. In the private sector, they're a little bit more behind the curtain, so there's a little bit more leniency, but they're more delegated towards rules because they can make up shit as they go. Versus the public sector, you may they may be slow to get rid of you depending on what it is, but you have political protocols you got to follow by, man. Like prime example, if you was a sewer inspector for the city government, you can be a sewer inspector, but also you can work for a private organization too, and they can determine your salary, your pay, they can write certain things up for you, etc. Okay, but all these things are getting ready to be brought out by corporations and the private sector. All right, so there you go. But behold, it says, there's no secret they can hide from thee, but with thy wisdom and with thy understanding thou hast got thee riches, and has gotten thee gold and silver and thy treasures. Yeah, man. Okay, it's witchcraft. It says, by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased riches, and thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches. It says, therefore thus says the Lord Yahweh, because thou hast set thy heart of a power. Okay, Esau thinks he's a god at the end of the day, you know. Fucking, I should have stayed where I was at. I wasn't even thinking. Fuck. Anyway. But it says here, therefore, behold, I will bring strangers upon thee, and terrible of thy nations, and they should draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they should defile thy brightness, right? So the nations are going to come up against you, because even though most of these nations and hegemonies are on par with the digital system, but regardless of it, it's like a battle for the king of the hill, you know, with America wanting to be the pinnacle of the power structure, man. Okay, but the Most High is getting ready to shut everything down, because the minute the RFID chip is implemented, hey, like Apostle Dar he said, we may have a month left in this motherfucker, man. You know, Lord's will, a couple of weeks, a couple of days, you know, because ultimately, you know, we ready to get the hell up out of here. But I fail to understand why other Hebrew Israelites that call themselves prophets, why they not speaking on such things, man. You know, and it's because ultimately these guys took a purse. All right, Psalm 17, and I'm gonna start at verses 9. Let's start at 8. It says, keep me as an apple of thy eyes, and hide me under the shadow of thy wings, from the wicked that oppress me, from my deadly enemies who compass me about. It says, they are enclosed in their own fat, and with their mouth they speak very proudly. Yeah, because when you go back into this video, this dude was speaking as surety as they know that they're 100% sure that the New World Order is going to be a thing to do. You know, they really believe that they're going to get the New World Order off, even though the scriptures tell them that they won't. They really believe in their spirit that, yeah, we're going to subjugate the Israelites and we're going to destroy the Most High, because they make movies on it. But it says here, they are enclosed in their own fat, which is their wealth, you know. It says their mouths speak very proudly. They have compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth. Yeah, the palantir shit. Palantir, Gideon Project, Stargate, all is going to be part of this global surveillance, to the point that you're going to have credentials in order to get online. If you want to log online, you're going to have to show some type of credentials, whether it be through biometrics, through retina scans, or fingerprint, or, you know, eventually you're going to have to upload your biometrical data, which is your under the skin surveillance, you go. And they may have certain shit on phones that you may have to swipe your hand to open up your phone. Then again, they're talking about doing away with the phone by 2030 because the technology is going to be in you. So that's less than 5 years away. So things are picking up. But it says, like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in a secret place. Okay? Because it's all around us. But arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, man. Okay? So we're praying for deliverance and forgiveness for Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. So we don't have to get caught up in this coming flood. Because it's coming. All right? Revelation 13, you know, we bring this out quite a bit, but it is what it is. It's prophecy speaking. We're going to go into the same scriptures. Revelation 13 and 15, he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And this whole palantir, all this is part of the image. Okay, it's the image, it's everything around us. And it says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hands or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy and sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And this is where we're currently heading to, man. Any day now. But with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Lord's will, you will edify. Until the next lesson. Shalom.